Welcome to another BZPower set review. I am BZPower reporter Xccj, and today we are looking at the Summer Bionicle set, number 70792, Skull Slicer! This is one of the new villains for the Summer Bionicle wave. You can see that Skull Slicer has 4 arms, 2 legs. He has a trans green color with some silver, and he's grabbing Liwa's Mask of Jungle. So that's fairly interesting. You have some nice background for the city they're in, and it's a little bit decayed, but fairly interesting. And then some hands down here, which is presumably Liwa trying to get his mask back. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. On the back, we have a different view of Skull Slicer, showing the movements he can do with his arm. You have the gear function right here, how he can pull off the mask, and how he can knock off his own mask. And then the coolest part is the comic right here. Shows the Toa coming around, Skull Slicer jumping out, grabbing the mask, and then jumping back in. And it looks like there's also a combination build. So if you get 3 of the Skull Warriors, you can build this character here. So Skull Slicer here will be about $14.99 USD, and I believe the official release date for the Summer Bionicle sets is August 2015, although they are likely to start showing up on store shelves before then. So if you want a chance to win this set yourself, actually, stay tuned to the end of this review and we'll tell you how. For now, let's open this set and see what's inside. So here are the pieces you get. You get about 73 of them in this set, and there are definitely a few ones that stand out. First of all, this is the trans apple green or trans bright green, however you'd like to call it. That seems to be the primary bright color for this set. And the first piece you get to see is this new skull chest piece. It has a lot of ribs, a neat design here, 2 tabs to place some armor attachments to. On the back end is a socket clip to get on the ball joints on the body. So it's a fairly interesting piece, definitely suitable for the skeleton theme. You also get these ball joints, 6 of them in the new trans bright green color. This is the first time they've appeared in that color. Including more on the transparent bits, you have trans neon orange. This is the eye stalk that was seen in the Toa and Protectors, but it was only in green and blue, and this time we get it in orange, so that's nice. You also have a gold chain. It's appeared in a few other sets, I believe, or maybe not, but it's still cool. And this is a trans orange skull spider leg. This is a new color for this piece, so it's cool that you get 2 of them here. I guess you have to buy 2 more of the set if you want to actually get a full skull spider. And 1 trans neon orange armor piece. You get a gearbox, which is nice. One of the more interesting pieces is this bone piece. It's kind of hollow on the inside, and it's the standard length of one of the other joints, but without the ball joint on the middle, so it's a little bit more streamlined, although it doesn't allow for any attachment to armor, so that's kind of a drawback in my opinion, but depending on the look you're going for, it might be useful. This set comes with 6 of them, and I believe that's the most you can get out of a single set out of the summer wave of Bionicle, so that's always cool. Another brand new piece is this armor piece. You only get 1 here, but it's fairly detailed there, and you can see the clip on the back. So this one shows up in a few other summer sets. You also get these new sword pieces. Has a clip on the end, a little beam connection right there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the swords will attach with each other, unlike the ones that Tahu and Kopaka came with. But it's still a nice design, and you get 3 of them in the set, which is, again, I think the most you'll find in a single set. You have the torso armor piece, nothing new, but a different design for Skull Slicer. Mask-wise, Skull Slicer comes with a silver skull spider mask. It's kind of unfortunate because he's the only one of the new Skull villains who doesn't have a new mask design. And this mask has even appeared before in silver in the water and ice sets. So it's nothing too special here, but I guess it saves on a molding for Lego. And of course, probably the most interesting mask is Liwa's Mask of Jungle. So it's partially trans bright green on the top, but then it's faded into gold, kind of the fade that we saw in the Protector masks. But it's cool to see it for the Toa masks. So it looks like this is Liwa's mask being partially infected. We don't quite know what the story significance of this is yet. And it's nice to be able to collect some of these. And the body, I believe this is the first time we've had the body piece appear in this kind of gray silvery color. So that's cool. A fair amount of pieces. Skull Slicer definitely delivers in that regard. But now let's see what they put together. And here we have him. Skull Slicer! So you have a few extra pieces down here. But the bolt come to create this character. He has 4 arms, 3 blades, 1 claw at the end of a chain. My first thought is that he looks a little top heavy. He has the 4 arms, but they're all connected up by his shoulder, so it seems like he has a little bit more going on, and his legs are pretty thin already. In fact, he's not super sturdy like this, and his feet have to have this addition right here to give him some more sturdiness. So I guess that's why they didn't go for the larger leg. Of course, the main feature is he has a gearbox, and it turns out, yes, all the arms do turn when you turn it back here. It's actually a fairly ingenious design. Instead of having like 2 gears here on the main turn, you only have 1. It turns this one over here, so these arms rotate in opposite directions over here. But then the rotation translates over here. You have 3 gears instead of 2, which means that these arms rotate at the same direction, even at the same speed. So that's a fairly cool design. I really like gear features like this, and they're throwing in some special stuff here. In case it wasn't a little bit obvious, his arms do kind of get in the way of each other, so it's a little bit cumbersome when he's trying to fight. But I mean, that's definitely scary. I like how the bladed arms over here work. Gear moving them at the same time definitely gives an array of like slicing blades. Over here, this hand has the claw, and that swings around a little bit oddly, and it wraps up around his blade on that end. But I guess that's just something you have to deal with. He has a fairly nice color scheme. Most of the trans green bits are uncovered, so they really stand out. And then a lot of his bone pieces and hands and swords are the silver bits. So green and silver, it works. Not quite sure if the orange also goes with it, but it's still a nice piece to have, and I guess this could be his like powered bits, whereas this is his natural skeleton form. Pose-wise, he is a little bit cumbersome just because of the 4 arms that are also with the gears. So it will allow for some creativeness. Yeah, a little too top-heavy for the one-legged stand. I'm sure you could get some particular poses in if you spread out the arms at just the right angle, but it looks like it would take some work. I guess one feature that is now commonplace in Bionicle is the mask flip. So he had the bar on the back of his head, and boom, off goes the skull mask. So that's a feature that they continued on to here. But he's not the only one who has it. Bringing in Liwa, Toa of Jungle, who is the Skull Spider's nemesis in this series. Liwa can switch out his mask for the new style. It definitely looks interesting on him. It brings some of the green back in his color scheme. So I don't know if this is like super powered or infected or whatever. I think it's kind of a nice look. I don't know how well it works on the other Toa, but I think it's okay for Liwa. But then Skull Slicer will reach out with his claw, grab the mask, and tear it off. Now what are you going to do, Liwa? He goes, Why-cha! Now the Toa of Jungle has fallen. And the Skull Slicer claims his mask. Well, the Skull Slicer is definitely one of the more interesting characters because he has the 4 arms. Play-wise, the gear feature is both pretty cool with the different rotations, but it does have a tendency to like have things get tangled up. So it depends on what you're looking in for the gear function, but it works. A little top-heavy. I wish they would have bulked up the legs or done something else because it looks like he's really strong up top, kind of weak at the bottom. All the Toa need to do is swipe his feet and down he goes. Parts-wise, he has a fair amount of cool colors, and if you like the bone pieces or the swords, he has more of them than any of the other sets. So that's a draw, especially since his mask isn't quite unique to this set. So I'm not sure if Skull Slicer would be the best of the villain line, but he certainly has enough draws to make it worth your while. Now, do you want the Skull Slicer as part of your collection? Well, just subscribe to the BZPower YouTube channel and leave a comment for this video. In a week's time, we will run a raffle, and one winner will receive a copy of Skull Slicer, generously provided by LEGO. Well, thank you again for watching another BZPower set review. Again, make sure to like and subscribe to the BZPower YouTube channel, and stay tuned for more BZPower reviews, including more of the summer Bionicle sets. And, of course, you can read the full text and picture review on BZPower.com. And once again, a big thanks to LEGO for providing these sets for us, both to review and to give away. Well, thanks again for watching. Skull Slicer!